She brightens up our screens this morning, as always she does, in your homes. Atlanta, Bridget Johnson, actor and commercial model, joins us on the program. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
So I think the first time I saw her was in Afamefuna. No, yeah. I think I saw in Man of God too.
Yeah.
Man of God was the one where... Yeah, he didn't quite register and all of that. So, there are lots of questions. Let me start with it. Maybe this is a very funny one. When people are light-skinned and all of that, sometimes finding a parent for them in the Nigerian space is quite difficult. So how do you navigate that part?
In terms of...
Like, character you play. So if you're a daughter...
Like finding a parent for you in a movie.
In a movie. Finding a parent for you in the movie.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not up to me to find that. I mean, it's up to the producers and the director. But I think there have been, fortunately, there have been a lot of other actors who are older than me who have been able to play, you know, my significant, like, parents and stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I just need to get that out because I think when we had, I've forgotten her name now, that's the same question we asked because of the space we live in. But there's a lot to you that a lot of people would like to know. So maybe you walk us through where you were born, how you got into acting, where you went to school, and all of that.
Okay, so I was born in Harare, in Zimbabwe, and I have two brothers, and we grew up in Ibadan, in Nigeria, and then I left home. I went to South Africa in 2008, 2000. Anyways, we went to boarding school in South Africa, and that's where we were. And after I matriculated, which was grade 12 in the program there, I ended up going to a film acting academy called the Acts Cape Town.
Right.
And I trained there as an actor for about 3 years. And then, and then I came back home.
And then you got your first movie? Your first role?
Well, when I came back home, it was the year of COVID, and then the next year was when I came to Lagos, and then I met Bola Nelson Peters, and...
Wait a minute, you returned in the year of COVID.
Yeah.
What a year to return.
Yeah.
So help us understand, what was your very first movie? How did you land the role? And how did you find, because acting in South Africa, or at least learning to act in South Africa, is definitely a different ball game from acting in Nigeria. Yes, there may be similarities, but obviously the culture, the stories are very different. So how did you find that transition then to land in your major role?
I think because I had spent so many years in South Africa, it felt, I was very comfortable being there. But at the back of my mind, I knew that, so when I came back home, I was like, because I wasn't familiar with Nollywood.
Yeah.
When I came back, you know, it was a transition that I had to deal with, right? And fortunately for me, you know, when I first got back, I then met someone that is a theater guru, BAP, and, you know, I ended up going for a reading for a film that she was producing and whatnot, and I ended up getting that job. So for me, I felt like it was a blessing, and I felt like, in general, I feel like everything just happens for a reason.
It's quite interesting, because some people always say, no one paved the way for me, no one held my hand, but there is a value in having someone to hold your hand, assure you that, don't worry, you'll be fine, because I've been here before, don't worry, I'll probably take some of the arrows for you and shield you as well. So that'll be the role of BAP for you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
For a lot of people wondering, what is BAP? It's Bolanle Austin Peters, right? But those who are close to her would call her BAP. But speak to us about what you find, maybe what you found the most shocking about acting in Nigeria. What you found, will I say shocking or funny? Because it's a very interesting space, right? So was there like a shock for you? Maybe did you have to be the actor at one point and do audio at the same time or something? Did you find anything quite shocking? Let me put it that way.
No.
Really?
Actually, no. I didn't find anything shocking. I think, there there has been moments where, like, for me, I've always said, be prepared for anything. It doesn't have to be in Nollywood. It could be in South Africa. It could be in the UK. It could be anywhere, you know. But just as an actor and as a professional, be prepared for anything. So if things go wrong on set, you know, the lighting guy isn't doesn't know what he's doing at the moment, or this, like, so many things can go wrong on set, and to be professional about it and say, you know what, actually, yeah, this is happening, but at the end of the day, we all know why we are here together. It's a collaborative thing, and we need to get this done. So even if that's happening, you know, we can still make it work. So yeah, there's nothing that, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that
shakes you.
Yeah, no.
So let's get to Our Family for now, which is perhaps one of your most celebrated work. And I'm almost using the word double dating in my head in that whole space. But the reason I say that, because of how the love interest metamorphosed from this person to that person. So it's quite a beautiful movie about industry of an individual, but there was a love kind of triangle in all of that. Walk us through internalizing that role, what it meant to you, because I know you cried, I know you were worried, I know you were protective. It was a layer of things for you.
Okay, so for me, with that role, playing Amaka, till today, Alex Akubo, he will watch this interview.
Maybe you should look at your camera and just pick that.
So it was the first time I worked with Kaide Kasum. We literally, the premiere of his recent film, What About Us, came out last night. So that was where I was.
And you were there?
Yeah, at the premiere. So this was the first time that I worked with him, and he's a fantastic director. I worked alongside fantastic actors, and it was the first time that I met Alex Akubo and Stan Nze, and they just so happened to be my love interests in the film. Now, yeah, it was interesting. You didn't really get to know much about my character. You know, it was predominantly based on the boys' relationships and them working under my father. But I mean, yeah, it was a good time. At least I got to meet them, and we got along really well. And yeah.
Like you're saying things you're not saying. We're listening.
Wait,
so we're just listening too. Just keep talking.
Yeah. So the question was about.
So this is a setup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me help you navigate this. Let me come out and navigate the setup for you, or maybe channel this another route. How much of what goes on screen spills over to behind the scenes? And that's always a question people have in their minds. So they see the movie. Okay, let me use a typical example. It's a tricky one. So Angelina Jolie, for example, and what's his name? Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah. So they were in a movie, and you saw how the movie went.
Yeah.
I think you know where I'm going with this one. So how much of what plays on scene also spills over to behind the scenes? Is that something you just do you just abandon and say, oh, we're done with the movies, no feelings whatsoever, move on with life, or sometimes that happens?
What sort of feelings?
So I use the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt as an example.
Well, no. I mean, no. For me, you know, every single film that I've been on, and I've had a connection with anyone, on screen, taking it off of sets has been very natural, and not in terms of like anything romantic or anything, but you know, I've actually, if anything, I've met a lot of very beautiful people, beautiful souls on set, talented actors that I am still friends with till today. So, yeah.
So another part of it that I'm asking again is, some people are method actors and all of these elements. So because we saw you transit from a happy girl to almost a confused person, like, how do I navigate this love interest? How do you conjure that to be able to tell that story? Also be able to feel what you are exuding from screen to us?
Okay, so for me, it's always been, if I'm given a role or a character to play, I don't judge, as confused as the person may be. Because even like with reviews, like when the film came out, people were like, wow, Zamaka, this, that, whatnot. But I try to always just, you know, see who this person is and not judge why this person is making these certain choices, regardless of if I don't agree with them. But yeah, for me, it's like, you know, you give me a script and, okay, who is this? What is this about? What's going on? What's the story about? And I'll play along with it. So I don't judge anything.
Okay, so let's talk about you when you're not on set. Maybe we'll link it to what you do on set. You're a big football fan. Do you play football well?
So growing up, yes, I did. Yeah.
She'll have been playing for Nigeria, Super Falcons.
If I wasn't an actor, honestly, I think I would have gone into like being a professional football player.
You were that good.
I'm not going to say I'm not that good, but there are people that can say yes that I played well.
Are you being modest right now? Let us know so we can market you to Super Bowl.
I haven't played in ages, and I mean, you know, it's been years, but growing up, yeah, it was something that, it was one of my first loves. Yeah.
Football.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's very interesting.
That's very rare.
Okay, I'm not going to get into this, but it's very interesting also to see that you've played very weird characters. Gollum, for example, in Lord of the Rings. Please, how did that work? Because I'm trying to picture you as a Gollum.
So that was my final year in high school. It was my final drama. Yeah, it was like one of the productions that we did where it was like our final exam.
Yeah.
And this was in South Africa.
I know.
And yeah, so I chose to do that. And
do you regret it? I can see the
No, not at all. No,
so can you maybe say a line from that?
So not at all. So my dad, my mom, my dad, and a few other like family friends were there. And I remember after like we did it, my dad said something about like, he was very confused. He was like, is this my daughter?
We did this to my daughter, right?
Yeah, but it was, yeah. So for me, like, those kind of characters were always what I wanted to like delve into. Yeah, so yeah, that was my final exam.
Okay, so in closing, what challenges do you face in the industry? You've been here, you're now in that space, you're part of Nollywood now, and one of the known faces. So what are the challenges you face for whatever reason? I
don't really think I'm facing any challenges. If anything, maybe it might be about, you know, getting more, or even me being a producer and getting more scripts and stuff that are a little bit diverse, you know, for maybe a character or something that will be realistic for me to play, you know. But other than that, no, I'm actually, it's so far so good.
If you're like a chill person.
Absolutely. So what are the big projects we should be expecting to see you on? And don't give us all this non-disclosure stuff. Give us something to hold on to today.
In 30
what
seconds.
you'll be looking out for in this year.
Look out for Dust to Dreams, directed by Idris Elba, produced by Mahabudu.
That's this year, right?
It should be out this year, hopefully.
You've done filming. Have you done filming? Or I think
we wrapped. Yeah, like 3 months ago. Yeah.
All Well, thank you so much, Atlanta. Bridget Johnson, actor and commercial model and producer.
Voiceover actor.
Voiceover actor. What else are we going to add to you?
That's all.
Future Super Falcon striker.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so that's it on this very edition of the program. Thank you so much for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.
Hey, do not let anything hold you back. Go out there and make the most of your day. Sunrise Daily is next, by the way, so stay with us right here on Channels Television. I'm Coyote Kikili. Goodbye.